All right, welcome back to GDC MMA. As always, the man to my right is Garrett Christian. I'm Fraser Ross. UFC 155 coming up. Big card. Let's dive right into this thing. We're not going to talk about every fight, but I think we'll talk about the top six.
Sounds good to me.
So we'll start with Brad Pickett, Eddie Wineland. Obviously, this one, they're going to light it up. There's no doubt about that. Both are coming off wars, stand-up wars at that. Give me your thoughts. How do you think this is going to go down?
I think this could be the fight of the night. That's what I'm predicting right off the bat. I think it's going to be fun. Brad Pickett is always coming to slug. His last fight was incredible. He just looked awesome right off the gates and took out a credible opponent in Eves. So I'm going to pick him in this one. I think it's probably going to be a little bit of a war. I'm going to take him in the third, though. He's going to finish this fight. It's going to be a TKO in the third.
Right on. I love Brad Pickett. I love Yves Jabouin, so I was kind of pulling for him just because he's Canadian in the last one, and the way Pickett knocked him out with that uppercut, that was one of the knockouts of the year, probably.
Agreed.
But Wineland's coming off a battle himself, Jorgensen. That ended in a KO as well. So yeah, there's no doubt this is going to be a good one. Just to go opposite you, I'll take Wineland in this.
Sounds good.
Next fight up. Chris Lieben, and actually interesting component to this fight, Derek Brunson coming over from Strikeforce, kind of the start of the wave of guys coming over right now. A lot of people are really interested to see what happens, how these guys stack up. How do you think this is going to go down?
Well, yeah, for that reason, I'm really excited about this fight. The card, a couple cards for now. I believe it's 158. You've got a whole bunch of Strikeforce guys. Or no, it's 157. They're kind of lining it up like the Strikeforce versus UFC. So this is one of our first tastes of it. And what a good way to start it. Lieben's coming from a year off due to suspension, and Derek Brunson is a guy who's hungry. He tried out for the Ultimate Fighter, almost got on there, and some paperwork or something stopped him from it. So he's super hungry, and I know he's super excited for this. That being said, my bias has to pick Lieben in this one. I don't know if it's the greatest matchup for him, especially coming off a huge layoff. But just my bias, I love this guy, and he's always coming to fight. He's coming to slug, and I'm going to say second round TKO.
I'll play the devil's advocate on this one, just for shits and giggles. I'll take Brunson. Let's see how these Strikeforce guys do, and this is the first one up to bat. So I'm going to take him. Obviously Lieben's a guy who's had some big wins, but he's always up and down. Who knows what Lieben we're going to see. It's been a while. I'm going to go Brunson. All right. Yushin Okami, Alan Belcher. Okami, not always the most exciting fighter, but definitely a quality fighter. Alan Belcher, a guy who's on a tear. Okami has lost 2 of his last 3, but he's never a guy you can count out. How do you think it goes down?
Well, this fight is super interesting. I think a lot of people sort of aren't giving Belcher enough credit here. Now, this fight could easily go either way. Yushin Okami, I think, is the tougher guy as far as wrestling is concerned, and if he uses his wrestling prowess to take Belcher out, it could be a boring fight, it could be a long night. That being said, I'm going with Alan Belcher all the way. I think he's on a tear, and I think eventually we're going to see him fight for the title. I don't know if he'll ever get it, especially while Silva's still at the top, but I am definitely going to take him. I'm going to say it's going to be a decision. It's going to be a fun fight, though. I'm going to take Belcher in the decision.
Interesting dynamic here, how you have a former title contender facing off against a guy who's itching for that title shot.
For sure.
I'm going to have to go with you on this one. I think Belcher is going to take this. Okami, he has been on a bit of a slide. I think he's coming off a win, but 2 losses previous to that. So I'm going to take Belcher as well. Okay, so Jim Miller. Oh, sorry, before we get to that, Tim Boetsch, Costa Philippou. Interesting fight here. Philippou, obviously, he had his fight with Nick Ring canceled not too long ago, a couple months ago. Tim Boetsch, definitely the more seasoned of the two, but I think Philippou has shown that he's a dangerous guy. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, this fight is a huge opportunity for Costa here. If he capitalizes on it, it's going to be massive for him. The thing is with Boetsch, he's a seasoned guy. and he's got everything going for him. And what I mean by that, at least he's shown everything in the octagon. He's got that wrestling. He can, like with his last fight, it was sort of boring, but he showed that he can stay standing up. He's also shown that he can take it down. He can weather the storm, come back with a knockout when he was against Okami. So, it's going to be a hard opponent for Costa to take down. Again, that being said, I'm going to take Costa in this one. I think that his boxing is incredible. He does have some good wrestling, and when he gets taken down, his jiu-jitsu isn't bad off of his back. So I believe that this could be the slowest fight of the night if Bosch gets his way. But if he doesn't get his way, Costa's going to take away the win here. I'm going to go second round TKO.
Good call. Love Philippou. He's shown that he is tough. And I always have a soft spot for guys who go hands first. He's a good boxer, so I'm going to go with you on that as well. I'm going to take Philippou.
Nice. Two together.
Jim Miller, Joe Lozon. This one could be a dandy as well. I know, Miller's coming off a tough loss against Diaz, tapped out actually, which could make for an interesting dynamic against a grappler like Lozon. Lozon, he's been kind of hit and miss, coming off a win, but was actually knocked out in the fight before that. So a few interesting things at play here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is my second vote for fight of the night. I mean, it's got all the makings of a fight of the night. There's also, I'm guessing that someone's going to get the bonus in this fight. Whether it's submission, knockout, or fight of the night, somewhere in there's going to be a bonus. It's going to be super exciting, but you never know what can happen with these two guys. I love the matchup. Joe Lozon, this could be his fight to, finally go over the hump. Every time he's, right up there, he kind of takes a loss and goes a little bit back down. Taking out Miller will definitely put him in the top 5, I believe. It's a hard one, but I think just on the record, I'm going to take Lozon in this one. I think he's going to come out of the gate strong, and I think Miller's going to weather the storm. It's going to be a 3-round war. I'm going to give the decision to Lozon.
I'm going to go Miller. Obviously, this one's going to be a close one, flip a coin. But I'm thinking just the striking advantage, the toughness inside might lean more towards Miller, maybe even being able to. Let's get right into the main event. Obviously, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos. We know what happened the last time. Punch to the sort of ear area, ended it pretty quickly. Do you think that happens again?
No, I don't think that's going to happen again. Everybody, this fight, obviously so interesting. So many things going into this. Were they both hurt last time? Did it affect the fight? Etc. Blah blah blah. All you keep hearing is those questions asked, especially of Cain. And I like his response. He doesn't want to blame it on that. And the fact of the matter is, it was so quick. Even if he did have an injury, he didn't get to implement any sort of game plan. And some people say, well, he didn't, he kicked as much, but he did. He kicked a few times, and he didn't go for the takedown because no, he was going to go for that takedown. I don't care if his knee was hurting or not. That was his game plan. He just made a mistake. He didn't capitalize. He didn't, attack like he should have right off the get-go, like Dana White, like myself, like everybody else said. So, could it happen again? Absolutely. Right out of the gates, it could happen again, for sure. But I don't think he's going to play that same game. I think it's going to be more head movement. He's going to be changing levels more, and he's going to try to, take Junior to the fence, take him down, ground and pound. The thing is that Junior's so strong right off the bat, and that's why he took him out, especially that shot.
That's right. You got to get past that one shot.
Exactly. So if he doesn't play that game and sort of lets it go in the second, third round, I think now the game sways into his side. All that being said, I don't want to pick someone in this fight because I just think it's going to be great, and I think that if Junior wins again, it sucks because, Cain's, it's going to take forever for him to get a title again, but it could be good things as far as Cormier is concerned. It would be great if Velasquez won because it would be the starting of this huge rivalry. If I have to pick someone, though, I'm going to say Junior. I'm going to say that...
after all that, you go Junior.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, okay.
But all it is basically I'm having to make a decision here. I don't want to choose between the two. I love both of them.
You got Junior. All right, I'm taking Cain then. I'm going to take Cain just to go opposites on you on that because I agreed with everything you originally said. Well, and I think Cain fights the smart fight here as opposed to you know, trying to stand and trade, stepping back at all. He's coming right in, pushing him up against the fence, trying to take him down and grinding him.
For sure, for sure. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. And just to be clear, like, I'm